How are you looking forward to it, Graham, now? I mean, you've gathered here. So much talk about it also. I know you've had other series to concentrate on, but now it's just around the corner. How do you sum up the anticipation?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is here finally, isn't it? I'm sure there's 11 players in our dressing room, 11 in theirs, who've been looking forward to this day for an awfully long time. Well, it's not Wednesday yet, obviously, but just being at Trent Bridge, the most beautiful ground in England, and soaking up the sunshine and sort of the pre-Investec Ashes atmosphere is very exciting.
And what about your role? I mean, I know there's been comparisons between the strength of England's spinning attack compared to Australia. So is this going to be a really big series for yourself to really sort of show what you can do on these wickets too?
Who knows? Spin bowling will only really come into its own if the weather stays good, the wickets are dry and they start to turn. So I'll tell you in about 6 weeks' time.
And the Australians themselves, I mean, they are not as experienced as other tour teams who've come over. Is there a way, though, that England are going into the unknown a little bit? Because perhaps you don't know so much about these players as you would have previous sort of legends, if you like.
Well, I suppose in a way that could be true, but in this day and age with so much footage and so many analysts all around the world, we've got pretty good dossiers on every player. So hopefully come Wednesday, if there are any surprises in the Australian selection, it won't throw us too much because we've got our plans for everybody.
Graham, Britain got a bit lucky at Wimbledon and with the British and Irish Lions.
I too think a 20-point victory in a straight sets win is luck.
Is there more pressure for you to do the triple now?
No, there's no more pressure on us. It's fantastic for the country, obviously. England's a massive, proud sporting nation, as is Britain, I should say, with the British and Irish Lions. So the rugby was followed, intently by all of us, and then Andy Murray yesterday, obviously winning it for England, not just for Scotland, but for the whole of the British Isles. It's fantastic, and we hope to do the same. There's a feel-good factor that comes from a nation's sporting team doing well, and we hope to tap into that, and hopefully in 6 weeks' time we can be put up alongside those guys as victorious English teams.
You've had a few years, Swann, to get used to being a dominant force in cricket as a unit. How comfortable are you in that skin now? It used to be seen as very un-English. How comfortable are you in that skin as a dominant force?
I don't think we see ourselves as a dominant force. We climbed up to number one in the world, which was a feat that we aimed to do and we were very pleased about, but we didn't stay there for long. So we're continually aiming to improve, and we want to get back up there. And until we are, we certainly won't see ourselves as a dominant force.
You mentioned how beautiful it is. How pleased are you that the first test is here at Trent Bridge on home turf?
Well, yeah, I mean, Trent Bridge is beautiful, so I'm not bothered whether it's the first, second, third, fourth or fifth one, as long as Trent Bridge does continue to have a test match. It's a wonderful place to play cricket, and I'm sure the crowd are going to make this a memorable 5 days.
Graham, it looks like Nottinghamshire aren't going to let the cricket tour in, they're not going to change their mind. Is that a shame?
Personally, I think it is a shame. I know all the team are behind Billy the Trumpet, and the Barmy Army are a massive part of the English team, but Nottingham have their rules, as the Lords do, I think. It's a shame in this day and age that they can't bend them for such a big event, but so be it. It's not my decision.
Graham, what kind of spirit do you think the series will be played in? I mean, obviously you know Ed Cowan really well, a bit of banter there, but the Ashes spirit, it's always sort of been a feature of the series gone by, isn't it? What are you expecting this time round?
I think it'll be great. Any altercations that may have happened in the past are firmly in the past, and the 11 who go on the field for each team on Wednesday, you don't go on the field thinking about picking a fight or causing a rumpus. You go out there desperately hoping to do well yourself. I think any tetchiness, anything like that may come about because of hot weather and frustrated bowlers, and hopefully that'll be on the Australian side come tea time on day one if we're 300 for none.
What have you made of Nathan Lyon's starting his career? Where he's at?
I think Nathan's done well. Finger spinners, there's a sort of unwritten union in world cricket. You always look out for them and hope they do well. So he's obviously carrying that massive burden of being, Australia's spinner that everyone's carried since Shane Warne retired. So I feel for him in that respect. I'm glad that doesn't exist in England because it's a tag that no one can ever live up to. So he's done well in his short time so far, and I'm sure he's looking forward to this Investec Ashes series as much as I am.
Graham, Ashes series obviously notoriously tight. Where do you think it'll be won or lost over the series? Will it come down to sessions here and there?
Well, traditionally, the Ashes Test matches do that. I mean, there's sort of one crazy session where 6 or 7 wickets fall, that decides a game. You know, Headingley in 2009, where we got bowled out before lunch, effectively lost us the game. And then at the Oval, where Stuart Broad had his blistering spell, that won us the game. So, yeah, as a team, you try and ensure that you don't have those nightmare sessions, and obviously you try and ensure that you inflict them on the opposition. So, who knows when or where it will come about. There's a little bit inside of me that hopes that I'm a part of all 5 of them, but obviously on the positive side.
Graham, with so much experience in Ashes, what if you had a bit of advice that it all boiled down to give to one of the younger players, what would it be?
I suppose it's a cliched response that you'd expect from everyone, but you've just got to enjoy it, because these are, you know, the series that you live for. If you're an English and Australian, when you were a kid in the back garden, all you ever did was play Ashes series. I know I did. Unfortunately, I had to be Australia because I had a big brother who always got to pick first. And I always used to lose those Ashes series, so hopefully that's a good omen. You get into these series and you just enjoy them, because these are the games that when you look back in 30 years' time and your grandchildren are sitting on your knee, that you'll tell them about Ashes games. And you want to look back and, you know, have a rose-tinted glass on, remember all the good times, forget about the bad times, and just say, well, there you go, there's my Ashes winning medal.
Graham, you talked about Murray and the rugby union. Can you gain any extra inspiration from that to make it a really dream British sporting summer when you see what they've done?
No, I like what you're trying to do there. But, you know, we'd be trying to desperately win this Ashes series regardless of what had happened to the Lions or Andy Murray. You know, they've done unbelievably well, and we're all so proud of them. But that's gone now, and the cricket's the cricket.
You've been a teammate of Alistair Cook's for most of his test career actually. How's the captaincy altered him at all, or has it altered him at all?
I don't think it's altered him at all. He's an exceptional young leader, and he's got off to a cracking start with the bat as well as the stripes. So hopefully he'll continue like that.
Graham, usually at Trentbridge you play a bit of a supporting role to the Quicks. It's been a dry summer so far, and the square ball is fairly dry. Are you hoping to play a bigger role in this match?
I always hope to have a big role to play in a game. I'm not the sort of guy who drives home after winning a game and taking no wickets, particularly happy with life. So I'd love to play a central role in the game. As you say, it has been dry, so maybe swing won't play such a big part in the game as you otherwise might expect. But we've got the best swing bowler in the world in our team, so he can get it to swing everywhere normally. So hopefully we can win this game and I can go home with a hatful of wickets. But if it's not me taking them, then anyone else with an English cap on, I'm happy with.
Graham, one of the strengths of this England test team seems to be that when things are going against you, your head's straight clear. Do you think if you make a really good start here, there's a chance that the Australian heads will drop with all the criticism that's been for the difference between the sides?
Very hard to say. Again, it's a cliche response, but we don't focus on what the opposition will do. In any game you go into, you hope that you as a unit, you play well and you get on top of the opposition. Once you have a foot on their throat, metaphorically, you don't let go. So if we can do that, and hopefully, with the sun out, with hot temperatures, if you're being ground into the dirt, you tend to start picking fights with each other. So we'll be trying to ensure that we're not the team who are picking fights with each other. We'll leave that to the opposition.